Today we are going to be implementing the like functionality. I'll just reference our final project just to show you what we're going to be doing today. Here is a copy of the final example, and we have this heart button. We can click it and it is liked or not liked depending on we click it, and it's represented by either a heart that's filled in or a heart that's empty. So we're going to do that today. Now first we want to add the heart image, which we're going to use in SVG. You can go to the GitHub page for this project, which is in the video description, and you'll see there an assets folder which has these two SVGs, which are called heart and heart solid. So we want to display the solid heart if the blog post is liked, and we want to display the empty heart if it's not liked. So let's do that. All we need to do is add an image in the blog post, and that will be this heart image. And the way we're going to do it is by using a ternary operator, that if it's liked, then we want to display the heart that is full, that is filled in. Otherwise, we want to display the empty heart. So let's put an image here, and we're actually going to import these SVGs as React components. So let's import a heart from the assets folder, which we call heart SVG, and then we'll do heart solid from the same location. Just call heart solid. And now we're going to display that as the source in this image. For the alt, I'll just put heart logo. And for the source, we're going to use some cool JSX, a ternary operator. So remember that we're iterating through every single post here, right? So this is a map for every post. We'd have the ID, title, and content. And now we're going to have a new field, which I actually already snuck in. I have a list here of some posts I just hard-coded in. And I have another field, which is liked. It's another field, another property for the object, for each post object. So if it's true, we want to display the solid heart. And if it's false, we want to display the empty heart. So we can do that simply by referencing each post is liked property. We'll use a ternary operator. So if it is liked, we want to display the heart solid. If it's not liked, we want to display the regular heart. And one more thing we have to do, just because these images are a little bit big, I want to add some inline style, which takes an object, and we want to put the width property to 20 pixels, just for the sake of our project. So what we should see is that for each post, there will be a heart that's either filled in or not filled in. And let's check based on our data what we expect. We expect the first one, we have 3 posts. The first one is true, and the second 2 are false. So the first post should have a filled in heart, and the second 2 should have empty hearts. So let's check here, and that's true. The first one has a filled in heart. Now let's see, I changed this one, the second one to true also. Let's see what happens. Let's go back to our posts, and now these 2 are true. Beautiful. But now we want to be able to actually click on them. Right now we can't really do that. So let's add an on-click property to each of these images. So first, we want to actually implement the functionality in the blog component. So we're going to pass down a property to the blog, not the blog form, sorry, the blog posts. So we'll call it onliked. Onlike maybe. Onlike, yeah. And then we're going to call a function onLike handler, which we're going to implement up here. We'll pass it down. So onLike handler, and for now I just want to pass the ID that is liked, and we'll print it out for the first step. ID was liked. And I'm going to comment this out just because I don't want to get too much mess in the console. So now we have to handle this in the blog post component because we passed it down. So what do we want to do with it for each blog post? So we want something to happen when we click on these heart images. Therefore, we want to add an on-click property because we want something to happen every time we click one of these posts, one of the image. And here we'll have an arrow function to that function we passed down, props.onLike handler, and we want to pass down the post ID. So now what's going to happen is that this clicking will send the ID of the post up to this function, and it should print out in the console the ID of the post. And I actually do want to print the posts. We'll do like this. We'll print all the posts just to make sure that the ID is correct. And again, remember the posts is the current state. So let's save this and view our application, and we'll pull up the console over here. And so what we expect to happen is when we click on this button, it will show the ID for this post. And that's not what we want. Let's see, that's not the right function name. OnLike handler. Oh, it should just say OnLike. That's the problem. OnLike. Because that's the props we passed down. So let's try that again. Pull it over here. And boom, beautiful. So there's 3 posts. Here are the 3 posts. The first one is ID of 899, and that's the one that was liked. Then we do this one, 367, and now this one. But what we have to do now is we want to change the is liked property for each post when it's clicked on. So then it will change the picture. It will change from solid to filled in or vice versa. So in order to do that, in the handler in the blog component, we want, instead of printing the ID was liked, we want to actually like it for that post. Now, in order to do that, we have to set the posts using our setPosts function from the useState hook. So, and we want to use the previous posts, right, which is the last, the last state, and we're going to take in the previous posts. And now, what do we want to do? We want to go through all the posts, and then for when the post ID for each post is equal to the ID which we pass here, we want to toggle and change the isLiked property. So now we're going to use some fancy JavaScript to do that. So for all the previous posts, we want to do a map, again, which iterates through every single post in that array. And remember, this array is just the previous state. So it's posts when this is called. And for that, we're going to return the, again, so this is going to return a post. And all we want to do is we want to change the isLiked value when the post ID is equal to the ID which the function receives. So now we're going to do is a ternary. So if that's true, if the ID of the post in this iteration is equal to the ID that we passed into the handler, then we want to return that object with the post, but we also want to change the isLiked property to the opposite of what it is now. Otherwise, if it's a different one, we just want to return the post. Now, hopefully that works. Let's see here. What's the problem? Why is it bothering me? setPost, typo, setPosts. Again, what we're doing here is we're going through every single post in the current state, and only in one case where the ID of the post is equal to the ID that we liked, we're going to change the isLiked value to the not isLiked value, which is the opposite. So if it's true, it will be false, and if it's false, it will become true. So now, hopefully, we have functionality for clicking the hearts, and let's see if that's true. So we have, look at that. Now we change everything. You can see that those certain things were liked. That's it for this video. In the next video, we'll learn how to delete a post. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.